Welcome to the deep dive. We're diving into the Bhagavad Gita today.
Oh, cool.
It's this 700-verse philosophical dialogue, really important in Hindu philosophy.
Right.
And we're going to be looking at an English translation, trying to
Yeah.
figure out, what are the core teachings
Okay.
and how it's relevant to people today.
Yeah.
And so this text is actually embedded in a much larger epic called the Mahabharata.
Right. Yeah. It's like a giant, intricate story
Oh, wow.
filled with all this history and mythology and captivating
So
characters.
to understand the Gita, we kind of need to understand the Mahabharata first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's essential.
Okay.
Yeah. So imagine ancient India.
Okay.
It's a time of kingdoms and warriors.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And the Mahabharata tells the story of this conflict between two sets of cousins,
Oh, wow.
the Pandavas and the Kauravas.
Okay.
And they're locked in this bitter struggle for their rightful kingdom.
So it's like a family feud with really, really high stakes.
Exactly. Yeah, and within this epic battle, that's where the Bhagavad Gita unfolds.
Okay.
We're introduced to Arjuna.
Okay.
He's this skilled warrior
Yeah.
fighting on the side of the Pandavas.
Okay.
And he's suddenly facing this moral crisis right on the battlefield.
Oh, man. I'm guessing it's not an easy choice.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
On one side, he's bound by duty,
Okay.
his dharma, to fight for what's right.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side, he's looking at his own relatives,
Wow.
his teachers, his lifelong friends.
Oh, my goodness.
All arrayed against him in the opposing army.
Oh, wow.
And the thought of killing them, even in the name of duty,
Mm-hmm.
just fills him with despair.
That's such a powerful dilemma.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
It seems like a really good setup for some profound philosophical exploration.
Absolutely. And that's where Krishna comes in.
Okay.
So he's Arjuna's charioteer.
Okay.
But more importantly, he's also his divine guide.
Gotcha.
So as Arjuna's wrestling with his doubts and fears, Krishna begins to impart the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
He offers all these insights into the nature of the self,
Mm-hmm.
the concept of duty,
Okay.
and the paths to liberation.
So the Gita is really all about navigating those difficult choices
Yeah.
we face in life
Mm-hmm.
when, like, our sense of duty clashes with our personal feelings or beliefs.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't offer any easy answers or simplistic solutions.
Okay.
It invites us to engage in this deep reflection,
Mm-hmm.
question our assumptions,
Okay.
seek a higher understanding of ourselves
Hmm.
and our place in the universe.
One of the first things the Gita tackles is this idea of the self,
Right.
right? Like, it introduces this concept of the Atman, the eternal spirit.
Yes, and this is really a foundational concept.
Okay.
The Gita really emphasizes that the Atman, the true self,
Okay.
it's distinct from the physical body.
Hmm.
So while our bodies are impermanent,
Yeah.
subject to birth and decay and death,
Okay.
the Atman is eternal and unchanging.
So it's like this essence of who we are,
Yeah.
this spark of the divine within us.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's recognizing that there's a part of us that goes beyond the physical,
Yeah.
a part that's not bound by limitations of time and space.
And that can be really comforting, right?
It can be.
Especially when facing, like, loss or difficult life transitions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Death is not the end, but a transition,
Okay.
a shedding of the old to make way for the new.
And that's where this idea of karma comes in.
Right.
Right.
It's not about some cosmic reward and punishment system,
Right.
but it's about understanding this cyclical nature of
Yeah.
actions and consequences.
Our actions create ripples
That's right.
that extend far beyond ourselves.
Yes.
And they shape not just our present life, but
Mhm.
also our future lives.
Yeah. And it's not about getting caught up in the outcomes,
Okay.
but it's about acting with awareness, understanding that every choice we make has a consequence.
This reminds me of karma yoga, which seems to be a central theme in the Gita.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the path of selfless action,
Okay.
where we perform our duties without attachment to the results.
Mm-hmm.
It's about offering our actions as a service to the divine,
Okay.
recognizing that we're instruments of a higher purpose.
So it's not about just being passive
Yeah.
or accepting whatever comes our way.
No, it's not about that.
It's about engaging in the world,
Mhm.
but with a different mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think of it like this.
Okay.
You're working on this challenging project at work.
Okay.
Your natural tendency might be to get fixated on the outcome,
Yeah.
worry about success or failure.
Right.
But karma yoga encourages you to shift your focus,
Okay.
to pour your energy into the work itself.
Yeah.
Do your best without getting tangled in the potential results.
Finding that sweet spot between striving for excellence,
Mm.
but also letting go of the need to control the outcome.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
I can see how that could be really helpful in life, both professionally and personally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a practice.
Okay.
A way of being in the world that can bring a sense of peace and clarity even amidst the chaos.
And it's not the only path to liberation,
Right.
right? The Gita also explores other paths,
Yes.
like Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Raja Yoga.
Yeah, it recognizes that we're all unique individuals
Okay.
with different inclinations and temperaments.
Okay.
So it offers a variety of paths
Gotcha.
to suit those differences.
Okay.
But they all ultimately lead toward the same goal,
Yeah.
union with the divine.
So it's not about finding the one right path,
Right.
but rather the path that resonates most deeply with you.
Exactly.
Can you tell us a little bit more about these different paths?
Sure.
What makes them unique?
So Jnana Yoga is the path of knowledge and self-realization.
Okay.
It's about using our intellect
Okay.
to understand the true nature of reality,
Gotcha.
penetrate the illusions that bind us to suffering. It involves deep contemplation, study of scriptures,
Okay.
and ultimately a direct experience of the truth.
That sounds like a path that requires a lot of discipline
It does.
and intellectual rigor.
It does, but it can be immensely rewarding,
Yeah.
leading to a profound sense of freedom and understanding.
Okay.
Then we have Bhakti Yoga,
Okay.
the path of devotion and love for God.
Okay.
This path emphasizes cultivating a deep personal relationship with the divine,
Okay.
surrendering to a higher power, expressing that love through prayer, chanting, or rituals.
So it's a more heart-centered path,
Yeah.
focused on cultivating love and surrender.
Yes, and it's often described as being very accessible,
Okay.
as it doesn't require extensive knowledge or intellectual prowess.
Gotcha.
It's about opening your heart and allowing that love to guide you.
Okay. And then finally, there's Raja Yoga.
Right, which is the path of meditation and mental control.
Okay.
It involves practices like breath control, concentration,
Okay.
visualization, to still the mind and attain a state of deep inner peace.
So this path seems to be all about mastering the mind,
It is.
quieting that constant chatter
Yeah.
that keeps us from experiencing true peace.
Absolutely, and it can be a challenging path,
Yeah.
requiring a lot of discipline and perseverance,
Okay.
but the rewards are immense.
Okay.
It can lead to profound insights,
Mm.
clarity of thought,
Okay.
and a deep sense of connection to the divine.
So we have these different paths, but they're all kind of pointing toward the same ultimate goal. But the Gita also delves into the nature of God, right?
Right.
It explores both the personal and impersonal aspects of the divine.
You're right.
Yeah.
The Gita describes God, often referred to as Brahman,
Okay.
as the ultimate reality, the source and sustainer of all that exists. It's a concept that's kind of difficult to grasp with our limited human minds.
Yeah.
So the Gita uses vivid imagery and metaphors to help us connect to the divine.
I remember reading about some of those descriptions, like God as the sapidity in water,
Yeah.
the radiance of the sun and moon, the fragrance of the earth.
It's beautiful imagery.
Yeah, it is.
It helps us see the divine not as some distant, abstract entity,
Okay.
but as a living presence that pervades all of creation,
Yeah.
even the seemingly mundane aspects of our daily experience.
And then there's the vision of the universal form,
Right.
which is kind of a pivotal moment in the Gita.
It is.
This is where Arjuna gets a glimpse of Krishna's true cosmic form, right?
Yeah.
I'm really curious to hear more about this.
Okay, so imagine this. Arjuna is overwhelmed by doubt and despair, overwhelmed by the thought of fighting his own kin,
Okay.
and he asks Krishna to reveal his true form.
Okay.
And what he sees is beyond anything he could have imagined.
What does he see? What does this universal form look like?
The Gita describes a being of immense power and brilliance,
Wow.
with countless eyes, mouths, and arms, radiating a light brighter than 1,000 suns. Arjuna sees entire galaxies being born and destroyed within this form.
Oh my goodness.
The entire cosmos, in all its complexity and wonder, contained within Krishna.
It sounds like an experience that would completely shatter your perception of reality.
It's a vision that transcends our ordinary understanding,
Yeah.
a glimpse into the true nature of the divine,
Okay.
a power that surpasses all comprehension.
And this vision isn't just a spectacle.
No, it's not.
It serves a crucial purpose
Right.
in the context of Arjuna's dilemma and the overall message of the Gita.
It does.
I'm eager to dive deeper into that, to understand what this vision reveals about the nature of the divine and how it connects to Arjuna's struggle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But first, I think it's important to understand the significance of devotion in the Gita,
Okay.
as it plays a key role in accessing such experiences.
Okay, so why does the Gita place such emphasis on devotion as a path to liberation?
Okay, well, the Gita suggests that devotion, or Bhakti Yoga,
Mm-hmm.
can be a more direct path to God than even knowledge or meditation.
Wow.
It's about cultivating a deep love and surrender to the divine, a longing for union that transcends the limitations of the intellect.
So it's about opening your heart
Yes.
and allowing that love to lead you.
Exactly.
What are some of the qualities that characterize a true devotee?
Okay, so the Gita describes a true devotee as someone who possesses qualities like friendliness, compassion, forgiveness, humility,
Okay.
and equanimity.
It sounds like a beautiful but challenging path.
It is.
Yeah, it requires a deep inner transformation.
It does.
And it seems to tie in with this idea of surrendering to the divine will, which is something I've always kind of struggled with.
Yeah.
How do we surrender control without becoming passive or giving up on our own agency?
That's a question that many people grapple with.
Yeah.
The Gita doesn't advocate for blind obedience or passivity.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that there are forces at play in the universe that are beyond our comprehension, that we can't control every outcome.
So it's about finding that delicate balance between taking action, but also letting go of the need to control everything.
Exactly. It's about aligning our will with the divine will.
Okay.
Recognizing that sometimes the path we think we should be on
Yeah.
isn't necessarily the path that's meant for us.
That's a powerful concept,
It is.
but one that requires a lot of trust and faith,
Yeah.
especially when we're facing difficult situations or setbacks.
It does.
How does the Gita address this?
Well, I think that's a perfect segue into the next part of our deep dive,
Okay.
where we can explore how the Gita offers guidance on navigating those challenges,
Okay.
on cultivating inner strength and resilience,
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately on finding peace and fulfillment amidst the complexities of life.
I'm eager to continue this exploration.
Yeah, me too.
We're back and ready to dive deeper into the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. Before the break, we were talking about the power of devotion and this idea of surrendering to the divine will.
Yeah, and I think that's a great place to pick up because this whole surrender thing, it's really closely linked to the Gita's teachings on, how to deal with life's challenges, especially the ones that seem overwhelming or impossible.
It's fascinating how the Gita doesn't shy away from suffering and hardship. It acknowledges that, pain and loss are just inevitable parts of life.
Absolutely. It doesn't sugarcoat the difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gita actually uses the battlefield as a metaphor, for the internal battles we face, the conflicts between our desires and fears and our sense of duty.
So the battlefield becomes a symbol for our inner struggles.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Gita gives us tools and practices that can help us navigate those internal battles.
Okay.
One of the key concepts is equanimity, that state of mental calmness and composure.
That's easier said than done, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you stay calm when it feels like everything's falling apart?
It's definitely a practice. It doesn't happen overnight. The Gita suggests that by cultivating certain qualities, we can start to develop that inner stability, so we can deal with the ups and downs of life. Things like self-control, detachment, and an understanding of the impermanent nature of things.
It's like building that inner strength, that resilience.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a continuous effort to cultivate those qualities that support inner peace.
It reminds me of the three gunas, those forces of nature that influence our thoughts, actions, and even our destinies.
That's a great connection. The three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. They're constantly interacting within us. They affect our moods, our motivations, our perceptions.
So it's not just about willpower or making the right choice. It's about understanding how these forces work within us.
Right. And learning to manage their influence.
How do we actually apply this understanding of the gunas, in a practical way?
Well, the Gita suggests that by becoming more aware of the gunas and how they affect us, we can start to make choices that cultivate sattva. That's the quality of goodness, clarity, and harmony, while minimizing the influence of rajas and tamas, which can lead to agitation and restlessness and confusion.
Can you give an example of what that would look like in everyday life?
Sure. Imagine you're feeling super stressed out by a long to-do list. If you're operating from a place of rajas, you might react impulsively, rush through tasks, make careless mistakes, and end up feeling even more stressed.
Yeah.
But if you can tap into sattva, You might take a few moments to pause, breathe deeply, prioritize the most important tasks, and then approach them with a sense of calm and focus.
So it's about recognizing when we're being driven by rajas or tamas and consciously choosing to respond in a way that's more in line with sattva.
Exactly. It's about bringing that awareness to our thoughts and actions.
And the Gita offers practical tools for cultivating sattva.
Right. Yeah, things like practicing meditation, engaging in selfless service, cultivating virtues like compassion and patience, and even choosing foods that promote clarity and balance.
It's amazing how these ancient teachings are so relevant to our lives today,
It really is.
giving us guidance on managing stress, making better decisions, and living with more peace and purpose.
It's the timeless wisdom of the Gita. It's a practical guide for navigating life's challenges, for realizing our full potential and living in alignment with our true nature.
And this idea of realizing our true nature, that brings us back to that pivotal moment in the Gita, the vision of the universal form.
Right.
You said earlier that this vision is crucial to Arjuna's dilemma.
Yeah, remember, Arjuna's totally paralyzed by doubt and despair. He's overwhelmed by the thought of fighting his own family. He's questioning everything. And it's in this moment of complete confusion and desperation that Krishna reveals his universal form.
It's like Arjuna's asking for a sign, something to help him understand this impossible situation. What does this vision show him? How does it change things?
Well, it's a demonstration of Krishna's divine power. Arjuna sees entire universes being born and destroyed within Krishna's form.
Wow, that would be humbling.
It's a moment of profound realization for Arjuna. He sees that Krishna is more than just his charioteer or his friend. He's the ultimate reality.
So it changes Arjuna's understanding of Krishna from a personal god to something much greater, something that encompasses everything.
Yes, and that's a key message of the Gita. It's not about finding easy answers or escaping the complexities of life. It's about cultivating that inner strength and wisdom that allows us to face those complexities with courage and compassion and trust in the divine.
It's about recognizing that even amidst the chaos and uncertainty, there's a deeper order at play, a guiding force.
And it's about aligning ourselves with that force.
Yeah.
Surrendering to the flow of life.
Yeah.
Even when we don't fully understand where it's taking us.
It's a reminder to let go of control and trust in the unfolding of the divine plan.
And that trust, that surrender, it's not about being passive. It's about aligning our will with the divine will, acting from a place of clarity and purpose.
So it's not giving up our agency, but recognizing that our actions are part of something much larger.
Exactly, like a cosmic dance that's guided by a force we can't fully grasp.
A cosmic dance, that's a beautiful image. And it brings us to another important concept, dharma.
Right.
Can you explain what dharma means in the context of the Bhagavad Gita?
Dharma is often translated as duty, but it's a much richer concept than that. In the Gita, Dharma is about our individual purpose, our unique contribution, our responsibilities to ourselves and to others, and ultimately our path toward self-realization.
So it's more than just following rules. It's about understanding our place in the universe and living in alignment with our purpose.
Exactly. The Gita says that each of us has a specific Dharma, a set of qualities and actions that are perfect for who we are and where we are in life. And by fulfilling our Dharma, we contribute to the harmony and well-being of everything.
So discovering our Dharma is about understanding who we are and how we can serve the world around us. How do we do that? Are there any clues to guide us?
It's a journey of self-discovery that unfolds in many ways. It involves looking inward, paying attention to what feels natural and fulfilling. Sometimes our Dharma is revealed through challenging experiences, moments that force us to grow and discover our strengths.
So it's a process of exploration and experimentation.
Exactly. And the Gita encourages us to approach this journey with courage, with a willingness to embrace the unknown, and with a deep trust in the divine guidance that's always there for us.
It's about recognizing that we're not alone on this path.
And that support comes not only from divine guidance, but also from the connections we make with others, the community that surrounds us and helps us along the way. The Gita emphasizes how important relationships are.
It's not just about individual enlightenment. It's about realizing that our journey is connected to the journeys of everyone else, and that by supporting each other, we all benefit.
Exactly. The Gita reminds us that we're all part of a web of life, and our actions have ripple effects. By acting with compassion, understanding, and a sense of service, we contribute to the well-being of everything.
It's a powerful message, especially in a world that often focuses on individualism and competition.
It is. The Gita offers a different perspective, one that emphasizes cooperation and empathy.
It's about recognizing our shared humanity.
Exactly. Yeah, and that shift in consciousness, that's at the heart of the Gita's teachings. It's about moving beyond the idea of separation and recognizing that we're all connected, that our individual well-being is tied to the well-being of everyone else.
It's a beautiful and inspiring message, and probably more relevant now than ever.
It is. As we face global challenges that need collective action and shared responsibility, the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita can help us navigate those challenges with grace, wisdom, and a deep sense of interconnectedness.
It's a timeless guidebook for living a more meaningful life, for realizing our full potential, and for creating a more just and compassionate world. As we go deeper into the Bhagavad Gita, I'm curious to explore how we can apply these principles in our own lives. What are some things we can do to cultivate equanimity, devotion, and selfless service?
That's a great question, and it leads us perfectly into the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, so we're back, and I'm really excited to hear about those practical tools you mentioned, the ones that can help us bring the Gita's wisdom into our daily lives.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? Like, this ancient text can still teach us so much about how to live today.
Yeah, it really feels like a guidebook for a more fulfilling life.
Exactly. And one of the most helpful things it offers is the practice of karma yoga. Remember, it's about doing things without worrying about the results, offering our work as a service to something bigger than ourselves.
Okay, but how do we actually apply that? Like, what if you're stuck in a job that just doesn't feel right? How would karma yoga guide you then?
Well, it wouldn't necessarily say, quit your job right now. Okay. It would be more about shifting your perspective. Seeing your work as a chance to practice dedication, focus, excellence, even if the work itself isn't super inspiring.
So it's like finding purpose and meaning, even in the mundane stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, it's recognizing that everything we do, even small things,
Yep.
can be a way to contribute to something bigger.
That's a really cool way to think about it.
And by focusing on what we're doing, how well we're doing it, instead of getting hung up on the outcome, we can let go of a lot of anxiety and stress.
It's about being present,
Mm-hmm.
not worrying about the past or future,
Right.
just focusing on the now.
And the more we practice that, the stronger we become.
It's interesting how much the Gita emphasizes self-awareness, understanding our own thoughts and feelings.
Yeah, self-awareness is fundamental.
Mhm.
You got to recognize those gunas at play within us,
Mm-hmm.
see how they're influencing our perceptions and actions.
It's like taking a step back from our own minds,
Right.
noticing those patterns that might be holding us back.
Exactly. And the Gita tells us to be kind to ourselves during this process. It's not about beating ourselves up for our flaws,
Right.
but seeing them clearly so we can make better choices.
It's about self-compassion.
Yeah, which is so important for growth.
It's accepting ourselves, flaws and all.
That's where real change can happen.
We're all works in progress.
And remember, we're not alone in this.
Right.
The Gita reminds us we're part of a bigger picture.
Yeah, a web of interconnected beings.
Our actions have ripple effects.
That's why selfless service is so important.
Exactly. Because our well-being is tied to everyone else's.
And it doesn't have to be something huge, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It can be simple things like helping a neighbor, listening to a friend, or volunteering for a cause you care about.
It's about making a positive difference in the world.
Yeah, and doing those things with the right attitude, no expectations, just pure service and love.
Aligning our actions with our hearts.
And that ultimately is what brings true fulfillment and peace.
Wow, this has been an incredible journey through the Bhagavad Gita.
It really has.
So much depth and wisdom, and it's all still so relevant today.
Absolutely is a timeless treasure.
We've only just scratched the surface, but I hope our listeners have gotten a taste of its beauty and power.
Me too.
I think one of the most important takeaways is that we all have this incredible potential to realize who we truly are and live a life with purpose and meaning.
Yeah.
But it requires us to be brave enough to embark on that journey.
To face our challenges head on.
Cultivate our inner strength.
And act with compassion and courage.
The Gita shows us the way.
A roadmap for a more fulfilling life.
So as you go forward from this deep dive, ask yourself this. How can you apply these principles to make your life and the lives of those around you more meaningful and more fulfilling?
Start small. Focus on self-awareness. Cultivate inner peace. And act with love and a sense of service.
The Gita reminds us that we're never truly alone.
Yeah, there's a divine force guiding us every step of the way.
We just have to open our hearts and minds to its wisdom.
It's been a pleasure joining you on this deep dive.
Me too.
May the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita continue to inspire you.
And until next time, keep seeking, keep exploring,
And keep diving deep
into that boundless ocean of knowledge.